Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I have a really great show planned for tonight. I got one of my favorites coming on, somebody I've been wanting to talk to for a while, and we already got some comments of people saying hi and excited, and so MV Sparks, hi, Lewis Cruz, hi, who's that? Flight Reacts, cry, Pepe, hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. But before I bring on our actual guest, I'm going to bring on a pal of mine who is going to co-host with me tonight. His name is Alex Rivera. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. Very, very excited about tonight.
Me too.
And thank you for joining with us. I know you have a relationship with our guest tonight. He was one of your mentors in inking comics. And anything before I bring him on you want to say about him, or?
Well, to me, he's one of the most gracious persons in comic books. Always great attitude, willing to go the extra mile, and all around one of the friendliest guys I know.
All right, that's a great intro. And I will say this, every time I've seen him at a convention, I have never seen him not smile. He's always has a smile on his face. So let me bring on our guest tonight. It is Keith Williams. Hello, Keith.
Hey, hi guys.
How you doing?
Okay, great. Good to see you. Good to see
Good to
both
see
of you.
you.
Me too. Before we start, I'd like to just let everyone know where you can find Keith on social media. So you can find him at Keith Williams Comic Book Art on Instagram and Keith Williams on Facebook. So if you guys need a commission or anything, go there and message him. All right. So let's see. We got a couple more comments coming on. We got someone saying, Alex, Tyler Smith says Spider-Man Meatloaf. I don't know who that is, but that's probably a reference to something I posted. When Stan Lee passed away, I made a Spider-Man meatloaf in honor of him.
Oh, wow.
which you guys can see on my Instagram, which is just my name at Michael Gracia.
Cool.
So hello, Joe Ryan, who's a regular watcher. We got who's this? Lewis Cruz. Who else? MV Smarks says Keith. Rebecca, I'm going to be really bad. I'm sorry with names. Ginsburg says, hi, Keith. What's up?
Oh, my God.
And,
Hi, Rebecca.
Incredicon, who is us here, says, where's the opening? I skipped the opening tonight because, like I said, this is not going to be an educational part of my educational stuff. I'm only going to use that with my educational opening. So anyway, let's get into it tonight. So Keith has been an inker for a career, maybe 35 plus years.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's about right.
He's worked for Marvel. He's worked for DC. He's worked for King Features. He's got an awesome resume. But before we get into some of your work that you've done, can you tell us a little bit about what got you into comics? Were you a comic fan as a child, or?
Actually, I was. My grandmother gave me my first comic. As a matter of fact, here, I'll show you what it is.
Oh, wow. Oh, a Batman.
There you go.
Oh, hold on.
That was the first one. Like,
let me give you this. Whoops. Oh, hold on. Sorry, hit the wrong button. I removed you accidentally.
There you go.
I want to give you see it.
I remember that one.
You remember that?
Is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grandma gave me this comic. And after that, I was hooked. And this was like maybe just a little before the Batman show came on television. I was like, every weekend she would come over with another batch of comic books for me to read. And it was mostly DC. I didn't really know about Marvel at the time. But I was like totally loved all of the DC comic books that she gave me. So it made me interested in. I was already drawing, but it made me interested in going in that direction.
Yeah.
Comic books.
And And what were some of your favorite titles? I see. I mean, you read a lot of DC, but which ones were you drawn to the most?
Oh, well, Batman, of course. Superman, love Superman. Gosh, back then. Oh, Doom Patrol. Good grief. Doom Patrol, Metamorpho. I love the weird stuff, So, and Superboy, of course. It was like most of the comic books, because like they only cost 12 cents at the time, so you could just go and buy a whole stack of them, and it was great. I just loved reading all of them. And then I saw Marvel like off to the side, and I saw the Fantastic Four, and I said, "What the heck is that?" So like that's like, so I started to slowly get into looking at Marvel comics too, and I found out I really liked them a lot also.
Oh, very nice. And who were some of your like favorite artists that you were reading?
Oh, at the time, gosh, I guess like Carmine Infantino, Dick Giordano, Neil Adams. A little later on, I guess. Gil Kane. Love Gil Kane. Jeez. Frank McLaughlin. I mean, these are guys that were like doing the Batman comic books and stuff like that at the time. So, like I loved them. Dick Dillon. And further up, like it became things like John Byrne, Joe Sennett, like all of those guys, like when I started to really get into, gee, how does this guy do this? How does he ink? How does he do his pencils and stuff like that? That's when I started getting into a lot of those guys.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, you named some of the greats out there. I was actually a really big fan of Gil's Green Lantern work.
Oh,
that's Green Lantern's one of my all-time favorites.
I tried to draw like him. I mean, his stuff was amazing. It was like just like the angles and the foreshortening was amazing. I love this stuff.
That's great. And did you end up going to school for art, or was this something more self-taught and ended up just showing portfolios?
When I went to high school, they had a great major art program. And during that time, I did my school yearbook cover. I did a couple of school shows, drawing and painting backdrops and stuff like that. And it really developed my, my wanting to be an artist. And then I went to School of Visual Arts.
Okay.
And that was basically because Will Eisner was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an incredible artist, created the Spirit.
I got some Spirit trades back there.
Oh, great. It was really something. The first Spirit comic book I saw, it's like, I wasn't really sure at the time because he was wearing a suit and he wasn't wearing a cape and stuff. But once I got into it, his stories were like incredible.
Oh yeah.
Storytelling was amazing.
Yeah, I actually have behind me too. Is you can't see it, Popeye's blocking it, but I have his Contract with God trilogy.
Oh, yes.
Just going through that. Sometimes I can't even just read it because I'm just staring at the artwork in the way.
Oh yeah. The artwork it's incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing timing with his, with the way he tells a story. Absolutely incredible.
We got a question from John. He says, "Did you like the Green Lantern?" I'm assuming yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do. I love Green Lantern.
He's awesome.
There you go. I want another movie.
Yeah, I do too. I
better
actually,
movie.
Oh yeah, I actually, for fun, sometimes I'll write things, and I don't like to call it fan fiction, but I like to think about it as if I was in charge of a topic or of a character, how would I write him? And I actually started writing a stage musical about the Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern.
I gotta stop for 1 minute. I'm hearing a clicking sound somewhere, and I don't know.
I thought that was like part of a language or something.
I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove you and then remove Alex and see where the where it's, or just mute you guys first. Let me see. I'm gonna mute
Oh, there you
Alex.
go.
Okay, so it was Alex. Okay, Alex, it's
Yeah.
something with yours. Is your phone plugged in?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a lot of power on it right now?
I just unplugged it.
Okay, yeah. That sometimes what probably happens, especially with like iPhones. They overheat. I found out recently, and they got to cool down a bit. So we're
Holy
gonna
cow.
probably hear this for a minute or two, maybe about 5 more minutes or so. But it's okay. It's not bad. It's not that we can't. Do this.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good.
gonna. It'll be a few more minutes, but it's okay. So you went to school. You learned from Will Eisner. Probably to me, probably one of the greatest thinkers who ever lived. I mean, he drew.
Oh,
too,
yes.
his just contrast between his black and whites there might be some of the best I've ever seen.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Beautiful stuff. I mean, you didn't need to color it.
Yeah.
Black and white was perfect for his stuff. It had like a film noir kind of thing going on, you know? It was great.
That's exactly right. That's how I look at it. So Louis was saying, I see Mario behind. Yes, in my studio, I got a giant Mario. I love Mario.
Hey, so do I.
Yeah,
I played all the Super Mario stuff, all that. Yes.
Yeah, me too. I love that. I'm not big into gaming anymore, but I do love the characters. I mean, you got a Mr. Incredible over there. You got Mega Man. I got everything. I love toys, and I love keeping my room here decorated. So no matter where I spin, I see something that inspires me.
I'm just starting to do stuff like that. Like I got my Iron Giant that's over on the side here.
I got my little guy on my windowsill.
Oh yeah, I got my little guy. Wait a minute. I got my little guy.
Oh yeah.
See? Yeah, I got my. And I got the bigger one.
Still here.
Oh, that's great.
So let me ask you. So you graduated from SCA. You went into. Did you start going into comics right away, or
nah? No. I think I was working at Barnes and Nobles for a while. Like in the textbook section for about a year or so. Before I moved on from there. And then after that, I went back to my old high school and I became a paraprofessional. It was during that time that I met Don Perlin, who didn't live too far away from me. And I was able to show him my stuff, and he liked what he was seeing, and he was helping me out. He was my mentor.
Okay.
And he really helped me out a lot. And while I was working at South Shore, he gave me a call and asked me if I was interested in doing backgrounds for Mike Esposito on Marvel. What was it? 2-in-1? Marvel. It was the one with Spider-Man.
I think
Marvel Team Up.
Oh, Team Up. Okay.
Yeah. And so I said, yeah, sure. So at night, I was doing backgrounds for Marvel, and during the day, I was working at South Shore High School. I didn't really get that much sleep. So, most likely went to bed at around 4 a.m. because I had to finish the background.
Yeah.
And send them off. So it got really crazy. So by the time it got around summertime and school was ending, I had so much work with Marvel that I just told the school, I'm done. That was the fork in the road.
Yeah.
Because there was a possibility I was going to be I might have been a teacher instead, but.
Oh, that's a good profession. So I do that on.
It is. I don't know how they do it.
A lot of patience, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are blessed with patience, but it's fun. And I will say this: I don't want to turn this into a teaching topic, but when you work with a kid who is struggling with something, and then all of a sudden they get it, that's like what it's all about for me, you know. And
That's great.
and it's great. And also, what I like to do, and we do when we go to conventions and work with kids. I love working with kids because they are the most imaginative people out there. And you know, somewhere along the line, not by any fault of their own, but because they talk to someone who they respect, tells them, you got to kind of stop drawing. You want to think about your future. Your career, drawing's not going to be a career, and it kind of gets knocked out of them, and that's when the creativity starts fading away. But I like to keep them throughout, if I can, throughout their lives. If not drawing, doing something creative to keep that creative mind, the problem-solving skills that come along with it. So that's why I do what I do with education, you know?
Sure. I love it when kids come up to me at conventions and they have artwork to show me. Some of the stuff is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, far from what I was doing when I was a kid. You know? I just love talking to these kids, and you know, like if they're really interested in continuing, that's great, you know. And I tell them to come back, show me more stuff every time, you know, to see how they progress and stuff. And like, who knows who's gonna, you know, be the next Neil Adams or whatever, you know. So that's what made. I love kids. They're great.
No, I agree. Let me just go to a couple of comments because we have a few. Somebody's asking me, Lewis is asking, how often do I stream? Every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m., both on YouTube and Facebook here, running simultaneously. I do my Get in Tune streams, and I will be getting back probably, hopefully, more mid-August to doing my education streams where I do online tutorials for free. So just letting you know that. I just keep an eye out for that. I've just been a little busy. And NG Spark says, I want to be an artist. So keep listening to these, listening to the artists. If you have questions for Keith, anybody out there, just ask questions. You know, we're here to answer them. So your first gig was at Marvel.
Right.
And you and I'm sorry, I can't remember. Did you say what the first book was? The Marvel
Team Up.
I think first was which one?
No, you said Marvel Team Up was the.
Oh, that was the first. That was the first for my backgrounds.
Yeah.
To do backgrounds, because being a background inker, that's when the inker only does the figure work. Yeah. And then the background guy does everything else. You know, and you know, like it helps out the inkers so that they can get the book done on time and they can do more work. You know, so yeah. So I would say that Marvel Team Up was my first book as a background artist, but as an inker, it was Marvel Age.
Marvel Age. Okay.
Yeah. Jim Sarkop was the editor on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question from a friend of mine, which you may know. He wrote it on my personal page today when I shared that I was interviewing tonight. His name is Delphin Barrel. Do you know Del?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said he interned at Marvel with you, not with you, but while you were inking at Marvel, he was an intern there. Right. And he said to ask you about Secret Wars number 12.
Oh, is that the one? I never remembered which issue it was, but there was one issue that it had to be like an all hands on deck kind of thing at the time, and I think I was I might have been an assistant editor at the time. I'm not exactly sure. I think I was. But they needed people to do backgrounds on the book. They need colors and stuff like that. Jim Shooter was writing the book, so it was a little late. He worked it out so that he took us to, I guess it was a hotel that wasn't that far away from 387 Park Avenue where Marvel was. Yeah. And we went up to the penthouse, and all of us were working on what we had to do, you know, to get the book completed because it was really super late. So you had the colors there, you had the penciler there, you know, Jim was there. Everybody that was involved with the book and other people that were around that could do certain things like lettering and stuff like that, we were all up there in that penthouse doing that book overnight. it was an amazing penthouse too. You know, when we took a break, we stepped outside, and it was like you were walking into a forest because you had like all this plant life everywhere. It was incredible. The only first and last time I was ever in a penthouse, but it was absolutely amazing. And we got finished that morning, and we were leaving the place just after the sun came up. it was amazing.
That sounds. I love like those type of stories. I have friends, you know, who have worked in the industry for years, and they tell me the stories. And I actually had a friend recently, and I was going to share this later on not at the end, but a friend of mine recently passed away last week, who was in the industry for years. I don't know if you know him, but his name was Dan Joseph. Dan was a letterer for years. He was an editor. He worked at like every company, but he would share a lot of these type of stories with me, and it was just something. And I may one day, when I'm feeling a little easier with what happened to him last week, I will maybe do a tribute to him on my Get In Toon stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. You know,
yeah,
wow.
So things happen. He was the co-creator. I don't know if you remember Conservation Corps. It was published by Archie. It was a 4-issue series. Him and Paul Castiglia created. Yeah, and he was the New Jersey chapter president. I guess president they call it, of the NCS. So he was like really in the industry and just knew everything and knew everybody, and it was just amazing. And it was a sad time last week, but I will probably do a tribute to him on this. I just didn't know if you knew him because you've worked.
I think I did. As a matter of fact, I think I talked to him about the NCS too.
Yeah.
You know, getting involved with it, which I still haven't yet, but yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to turn it into a depressing time.
It's all right.
So when did you go from Marvel to DC, or were you working for both of them at the same time?
I guess I might have bounced around a little bit at the time. I was doing the mask, as a matter of fact, for Dark Horse.
Okay.
You know, like while I was working for Marvel, and they ended up having Mask versus Lobo.
Yes.
Thing going on. So with Doug Monkey did the penciling on that. And that was the time that I started working at DC. You know, for a little bit. I wasn't working for them as much as I was working for Marvel, but I also, besides that, I did the covers for their Impact line that they had back then. Jim Owsley, after he left Marvel, who's Christopher Priest, who left Marvel, went over to DC, and he was the editor at the time. For those books, and he asked me if I was interested in inking over Dan Jurgens. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun doing the covers for those
That's
books.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and they did one issue of Superman. One issue.
One issue.
One issue. I think it was over Pete Wood's pencils at the time. Yeah.
But you ended up working a little bit more on Superman, right? Didn't you work over John Byrne's work?
That's another thing. Okay, well, that's earlier on. And that's when I was doing backgrounds for John.
Okay.
John, one of the greatest people on earth, at least for me, because I worked with him on backgrounds on Alpha Flight.
Okay.
He asked me if I was interested in working with him on backgrounds, and I said. As a matter of fact, I think it was Mark Grunwald that mentioned me to him. So, and I said, really? He was really neat. But so I worked with him on Alpha Flight until he left that book and he went on to the Incredible Hulk. And I followed him there and worked with him on a few issues on that, which was great too. He just put so much work into his background, it's amazing. Anyway, and then afterwards, when he went over to DC Comics, he got back in touch with me find out if I was interested in working with him on Action. comics, and I also did a Superman issue, inking background for Terry Austin. But yeah, yeah, it was great. He put my name on the front of the book,
Wow.
like as a background artist, and that's never been done. And I've always been very grateful to him for that. I also ended up getting royalties on the books because like he said, since like I'm working with him, that I can get royalty. It's like whoever did that. I mean that was amazing. I was very grateful to him for that.
That's great.
And I ended up working with him on She-Hulk. So
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
We have a comment from Joe Ryan who just says, "I love the Mask comics. I have most of the original issues."
Oh, Mask was crazy. That is a sick book. I mean the movies, nothing.
Yeah,
The
no
movies
justice.
do not compare to the book.
It's almost like watching or the Ninja Turtle books, the original versus the Ninja Turtle movie. There's a lot of differences in that there.
Oh sure, yeah, definitely grittier. But but the Mask was like, that was sadistic insanity, But I love doing those books. I love doing them.
Hold on one second. I think I might have a friend watching. I think I just got a text from him. And let's see. It popped up on my phone. It didn't pop up on. It popped up on my computer, not on my phone. Let me check. I don't know why it didn't register. Let's see. Okay, so this is from a friend of mine. It says, "What can be said about the language of inking and coloring? What would you Keith, like future/new artists to think about when they're approaching their work, or do you think new artists don't understand about the process?"
What is it we don't understand?
No.
No, a new artist.
Oh,
Hold
a new
on.
artist.
Yeah, well, he's saying. I'll just read it again in case.
Okay.
Okay, it says, "What can be said about the language of inking and coloring?" That's part one. What would you like future new artists to think about when approaching their work? Or do you think the new artists don't fully understand the process?
Oh, well, gee, I gotta tell you, when I first started doing this, it was like I was learning as I was going along, when I would be up at the Marvel offices, people would come up to me and say, "Oh, gee, how do you do this? How do you do that?" I kind of knew, at the time. I feel like I was more like almost like bluffing my way through at the very beginning when I first started. But you learn as you're going along. I had Joe Sennett that I was doing backgrounds for, and I was able to really learn a lot about inking from him without him even talking to me about it. I saw it in his style and what he used. If it was a pen or a brush or whatever, and I was up there, faking it until I could make it. I think in a way, but I was also my worst critic, like I still am, and you're gonna think that you may think that your stuff isn't great or isn't good, and that's natural. That's normal, like, and I still don't think my stuff is really that great sometimes, So, like it's just to start as a beginner, you just have to just
be yourself.
Be yourself, and reference. Do not think that you're supposed to have all this stuff in your head. It's not true. Okay, like shadowing of people's like faces and bodies, clothes, cars, things like that. You got an internet. Internet. Use it. Use the internet. Print them out. Put them on put it on the side of your screen. Whatever way you need to do it to get like the idea of what it is that you need, like how you're supposed to draw a certain thing or a certain body or something like that, and believe me, that helps a whole lot. It helps a whole lot. But and as you're going along, you're going to be collecting lots and lots of tools, and like things from templates to draw circles to pen points if you want to ink, I really don't know how many. It's hard to get pen points now, but because I think I'm old-fashioned. I don't know. I still ink on paper, But do that. Also do computer, whatever you feel comfortable with, But be yourself. Be yourself. Right. Exactly.
Joe Ryan says that's solid advice. Let me ask you, since you're just talking about old school, are you a brush inker, pen nib combination? What do you do?
I'm everything.
I'm
everything. Whatever I can get my hands on at the time, and whatever the drawing kind of like calls for. If it has more of like a hard look to it, I may go into it with a pen. Like that gives you a harder feel to it. If it's more organic, I'll do brush. I taught myself how to do both things. I was scared to death of brush because it's a soft instrument, So you learn how to hold your hand and use a brush. Will Eisner showed me something on my hand for the different like channels of how to hold a brush when I get like a thin line, a thick line, and it was like like when you're holding it straight up, you can get like those thinner lines and stuff, and it's like it's almost like a throttle, and you go back and get the thicker lines. At that time, for me, it kind of worked, but now I'm doing it a different way. I have my own way of doing it, but it's nice to have somebody show you, like a way of doing it at first, and then.
Yeah, no, that's great. I had a teacher. I studied under Tom Gill for a little bit.
Gill.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he hated my inks. He loved my pencils. Hated my inks because I don't have a steady hand. I don't know if you can tell my hand shakes. I take medicine.
That's not too bad.
It's like what is it I'm like Blazing Saddles with Gene Wilder,
Oh yeah.
Going on. But yeah, no. So I would ink with more microns and pen nib and other like more controlled pens, and he was like, "Yeah, no, your inks are terrible, but your pencils look good before you ink."
That's great. That's good because my pencils were bad. My inking.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Look, I've seen your work. I can't say your pencils are bad.
Thank you.
But mine. But that was the thing. He would always complain about my inks, and he's like, "You need to learn how to ink with a brush," and I just couldn't do it. Now I use brush pens. I can control as long as it's a pen. I have a little more control, and the nibs on the brush pens are a little stiffer. So
yes.
I tend to go with those.
That's great. That's great.
I like them. So you've been to Marvel, you've been to DC. How do you go from going to them to the lovely shirt I'm wearing here, or my little, not little, but my figure of the Phantom here?
I love that.
Yeah. How did you get the gig working on the Phantom?
Danny Fingeroff came to me. I was working in his office for Web of Spider-Man. As a matter of fact, I was just ending my stay on that book. And he asked me if I was interested in going over to King Features because Jay Kennedy, who was the head guy of the comic strip at the time there, was interested in having somebody be the inker on the Phantom. Cy Barry was retiring.
Yeah.
Cy Barry, who's absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Didn't he work on like Flash Gordon at some point?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did, and his brother. Dave Barry, both of them, amazing stuff. And he asked me if I would be interested, and I said, "Oh, yeah, sure, why not? I'll try something new." And I brought my portfolio up to Jay, and he liked what he saw, and he said, but you have to go over to the guy who actually created the Phantom and like get his okay on it, Lee Falk. And I said, oh, really? I said, wow.
Yeah.
Because before this, I only knew of the Phantom because of the greatest comic book. There was a hardcover book that came out. I think Jules Pfeiffer wrote the book.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, World's Greatest Comic Book Heroes or something like that.
Yeah,
And that's when I first found out about the Phantom. And I said, wow, Lee Falk. That was a wow. That's amazing. So they gave me his address. We arranged for a time to meet and went to his home, which was on Central Park West, like right across the street from the Hayden's Planetarium.
Okay.
At the time, yeah. I think his apartment was like on the eighth floor, seventh floor. Anyway, went into the building, and he had a freaking private elevator that
Really?
went up to his floor and stopped because when the elevator door opened up, there was only an alcove, and it had some kind of poster of the Phantom on the side there, and then the door to where you would go in. You know, you'd knock on the door and you go in. Rang the doorbell, and there he was. In his, I guess, I don't know if it's like a smoking jacket or a robe or what, but you know,
from what I remember reading about him, he always he based Mandrake off himself, so he always felt kind of like elegant. He had the ascot type of things going on and stuff.
I'm trying to remember exactly what he was wearing up there. I'm not sure if it was an ascot. I can't remember. But he led me into his living room. And had a beautiful view of the park. You know, like, and the planetarium was right down there too. It was amazing. And sat down. We talked for a while, and he asked me what else I did, and I told him I did Spider-Man. And he says, "Oh wow, you know, like I really have a fear of spiders, terrible fear of spiders." And I said, "Oh, that's it. I'm leaving. I'm going. I'm done." And yeah, but no. We just discussed, you know, like business stuff, and after I walked out of there, I got the phone call, and they said that I got the job, you know, and I said, "Wow, great!" You know, George Olsen was the penciler, on the Phantom, and he was working, I guess, with Dive for a long time at that time, and so he was the guy that I was going to be inking over. And I did a few inking samples also, you know, just to be, you know, they wanted to see some of that too, and they liked what they saw in that, and you know, so I got the gig.
That's awesome.
So I did it for 10 years.
When did you start working on it? Just out of curiosity, when did you take over?
It was 95.
95. Okay, because I remember the first time I met you. I believe it was 2000, 2001. There was a comic book convention at the Westchester County Center, and I was maybe 10 tables away from you across, like at another there, and I just got up to walk around. It was the first time I've ever seen an artist have Phantom work at a table, and I got like super
yes, Phantom work at a table.
Yes, and it's like I guess is Alex coming back?
Oh, there you go. Hey,
there you go. Well, yeah, and it was like, oh my god, so Phantom. So I remember talking to you a bit about the Phantom. I had one thing I always ask every Phantom fan. Okay, I don't know if you have an answer for this one, but what is your favorite Jungle saying?
Oh my god. Jeez, you see, you're catching me flat-footed here.
That's a difficult question to ask because
you know, it's like I'm trying to remember, or like paraphrasing, you know, that the voice of the Phantom chills the bones of, you know, like it was like the Phantom would say something, and he'd say it in that voice that was kind of icy, you know, and like, you know, and then it would be like old Phantom saying, you know, and the
Yeah.
Phantom's voice chills you to the bone or something. You know, I can't remember them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just curious if you had a favorite. I you know, because it's hard for me to pick. That's why I always ask.
But
if I
but
know.
the Ghost Who Walks is always cool to me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I just love that whole idea.
Because I remember as a kid, I used to read the Phantom comic strip while it was in the taping. But in the was it 86, I think it was, they had a cartoon called Defenders of the Earth.
Oh yeah.
And it was the King feature characters. So it was Mandrake
Yeah.
and Lothar, Flash, Phantom. And in there, they gave him more mystical superpowers. So where it would always be the Ghost Who Walks, calls forth the power of 10 tigers. And but it was.
Yeah, that's right. The 10 tigers. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But that was the thing. It was like Old Jungle saying Phantom has the strength of 10 tigers or something. And they just made him more mystical in the cartoon. And I always thought that was a little interesting.
That's cool. They have so many different interpretations of the Phantom on screen, you know. So yeah, some of them I wish they never did, but I love the movie.
I was going to ask you the Billy Zane movie. You're a fan
Yes,
of?
yeah.
I love that. I thought that was. I'm sorry. You go first.
No, because I know just.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that I felt it was, even though it was a little cheesy for the 90s era, it was a true Phantom story. It was really true to the comic. It was true to who the essence of the Phantom was.
Yes.
And that's what I don't like when they take comic book characters and change them for whatever reason for the sake of change. I know it didn't do well in the box office, and when I saw it opening weekend, there was like 10 people in the theater with me, you know? And it was, to me, to this day, it's one of my favorite superhero movies.
I saw the premiere. I went to the premiere. Lee Falk got me a ticket for me and my wife, and we went in New York. Lee was there. Billy Zane was there.
Wow.
It was great. I'd never been to a premiere like that before. That was absolutely amazing. And like, I love the movie. It was a little campy.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be. It could have been done totally straight and wouldn't have been a problem, you know, like with the movie, I'm sure. But I still like it because Billy Zane was able to channel the Phantom. He really did.
I'm sorry, Alex. You said something I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. I said that Billy Zane did an excellent job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He was.
He was scary when he had to be scary, but he also had the other side of the Phantom, which was that really cool, nice guy, you know, that always smiled, and you know, so I really liked it.
Yeah, I did
he
too.
Really did a great job.
Yeah, I watched that movie a couple of times a year, to be honest. I have it on DVD, but I think it's on either Hulu or Amazon if you have like Prime or something.
Right.
Like that. So I've caught it. I watched it twice while I mentioned to you before we came on. I had COVID and I'm quarantined for a little. I watched it twice while I was laying in bed with nothing to do. So
that's good. That's like chicken soup, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, you know, and the campiness that was brought to the movie, I think that was really more to help kind of introduce it to a younger audience and try to get them to be fans.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, what would I mean, they had movie serials back in the 40s of them. Did you ever watch those?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, they were fun.
Yeah,
I like them. They're not bad. You know. Yeah. Oh, as a matter of fact, here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like. Come on, I'm gonna bring you in all the way on that one, because that is a much nicer Phantom ring than I have here, which I didn't put on my finger.
This is actually the movie Phantom ring.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Wow, that is nice. I got I love that there. I got I'll show you. Hold on. I'll show you mine. I don't know where I got this one, but this is the one.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too. Yeah, those are great.
I think they may have given these out with the movie, or it came with something for like movie time, but it wasn't the.
You might be right. They were also in a comic book, I think, that of the Phantom too. You know, like in a plastic bag, and they had.
Yeah, maybe that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm a huge Phantom guy here. So after leaving Phantom, kind of where did your work take you?
Well, after that, you know, like I was doing stuff for gosh, where else was I going at the time? Now it totally escaped me the name of Avatar Press. I did, I worked for Avatar Press, and I did Harlem Hellfighters, a graphic novel about African Americans fighting in World War I.
Okay.
And Max Brooks was the writer of the book, and Kanan White was the penciler. And it was an absolutely amazing book. And the amount of pages, gosh, over 100 pages of work. But the story was absolutely amazing. And I'd have teachers come up to me at conventions from high school and elementary, mostly high school, middle school. And they, you know, like when they see the book on my table, they go, "Oh wow!" You know, like we talk about this in school, and I just thought that was really nice. You know?
And what was the title of the book? I'm just writing it down because it sounds like something I'd like to read.
The Harlem Hellfighters. As a matter of fact, here it is.
Let me give you the screen so people can see the cover. Harlem
Hellfighters by Max.
Hellfighters. Okay. There's an Amazon thing I'm going to go look up soon. Or if I can find it at my local comic shop. I always go to my comic shop before I go to Amazon, and I recommend everyone else do that too.
Yes.
Support your local shop.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, and I also did a book with Kanan for Avatar Press called Uber, which was that involved the Nazis discovering a super soldier formula, and it would create like these massive guys and women who would be going over to Britain and trying to take over the world, of course. But what happened was that Britain, the U.S., Japan, and I think every other country in some sort of way found out about the super soldier formula and had it for themselves. So those people would go after each other. It was insane. It's sort of like as gruesome as The Mask. It's sort of like, you know. So it was an interesting book that I worked on. You have to see it.
I will check. I wrote them both down, as you can see right here. So you know, every time I have a guest on that mentions something that I've never read or sounds very interesting to me, I write it down and I add it to my list of one-day purchases. You know.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
That's some. The Harlem Hellfighters actually sounds something I'd really be into. That sound. I mean, I love. I don't want to say I love World War II, but I like the stories. I like the stories that come out of it. You know.
Right.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, so after some time, you were at Moonstone for a little bit.
Oh yes, right.
You want to talk about what you did at Moonstone?
Oh yeah, sure. Moonstone. I worked on some really cool stuff. As a matter of fact, one of them was Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Which I actually worked on at Marvel as a background artist for Mark Texeira back when the first book came out, and I actually got to see the premiere of that too, which was cool. Also.
Oh, that's cool.
And got to hold the little device that he used, that he put into his car so that he could go through mountains and stuff. It was awesome.
That's awesome. First of all, I got to say I love the movie, and I think somewhere in one of these boxes around me on the side here, I have the original Marvel comics of it. I don't have the Moonstone one, but I'd love to pick that up for the. I want to see that interpretation.
I love the artist that did the Moonstone. Oh, one like that I inked over. He was absolutely incredible. I'm trying to remember his name right now, but I can't. Sorry, but his stuff was amazing. I really enjoyed working on that book. And there was also Kojak the Night Stalker, which was another favorite of mine when I was younger, and I watched the show. Dan Curtis, Dark Shadows, all that stuff. And he did this too. And I just loved this guy, this reporter, just running around at night trying to find out about these supernatural things that would be happening all the place.
Yeah.
I guess that was a predecessor of a lot of different shows.
Yeah. And that was what, a 70s series? Or
no, yeah, I think it was
Kojak?
Yeah, Kojak Night
Stalker.
Was that the 70s?
It was Kojak the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up and find out when that was. I mean, I was born in 76, so I
good grief.
I saw a lot of that stuff on reruns in Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah. to some, to others, I'm an old man. But I remember watching those on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the 90s, I think.
Gosh, yeah, right. The Sci-Fi Channel, yeah.
And so I'm sorry, Alex, were you saying something?
Yeah, the actor was what was his name? Darren McGavin.
Gavin McLeod? No, Gavin.
No, that's Love Boat guy, right?
No, right.
I'm looking.
Darren.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm on my phone here.
God, that's right. Yeah, it was something like that.
Because I used to watch that show religiously also.
Oh, I saw the movies, The Night Stalker, The Night Strangler. Those were the things that came on before the show came on, and
those were you would say those were the pilots.
Yes, those were the pilots. That's right. They were the movies of the week.
Yeah, exactly. And then it became a series.
Yeah, that was great.
So Kolchak actor was Darren McGavin.
Darren McGavin.
Yeah.
A Christmas Story. Yeah, right. Yeah, Darren McGavin.
Yeah. Now all those shows, I love all those things that came out of that era.
Around the same time was Night Gallery.
Yes.
Night Gallery is good too.
I love Night Gallery.
I gotta thank for my childhood. I had the Sci-Fi Channel. I had Nick at Night. I had all these things that really
good when it was really good.
Yeah.
I had all the 16 stuff on. I loved it. Oh yeah.
I will say this: to this day, my favorite sitcom is the Dick Van Dyke Show, and that was made 10 years before I was even born.
That was great. The Walnut episode with the aliens.
There were some that was really. Yeah, that was what they all had, something with a hat, I think.
They had
eyes. Yeah.
And Lord Pitchy rolls out of the closet. And there's all these walnuts.
Yeah, they had some. There was one. I don't remember the actor's name, but he was on the Guy Williams Zorro, the one who played Garcia, the heavy set guy.
Yes.
And him and Dick Van Dyke did a Laurel and Hardy bit. They went to a resort, and the stage act got sick and couldn't go on, so everyone gathered together to put on a show, and they did this great Laurel and Hardy bit. I loved it.
Oh, perfect. Dick Van Dyke is great playing Laurel.
That was amazing. That's. But because of all that, I got to grow up and learn about the stuff that came before me that, like you said, inspired so many other types of shows and comics and and such.
Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows was one of my favorites. That was my soap opera. I come home at 3:00 in the afternoon, and I think it would come on at 3:30 or something like that. And
3:30.
3:30, right?
Yeah. You got.
I have an interesting Dark Shadow story. I don't know if you know this. I live in Yonkers, New York, and a town or two over from me is Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Oh wow!
And they have And a couple of years ago, we did a Halloween tour of the cemetery, Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. And, Washington Irving's buried there, so we heard Washington Irving stories. But they took us into this mausoleum, and it was where they recorded the mausoleum scenes for Dark Shadows.
Wow. Oh, my God. That is so cool. I mean, I love it whenever they went in there and they had like the little secret button they got to press, and it opens up the little area where Barnabas' coffin was. So cool.
I just want to say, Rebecca says, night, gents. So good night, Rebecca. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Oh, night, Rebecca.
Yeah. We've had a few comments I haven't been able to get to. We had Joe Ryan say, lately he's been using the Emoji brush pen. I'm not familiar with that one. I use the zebra brush pens. I don't know. I'll put it up on the screen here. Maybe you guys know it. The Bimoji.
Oh, you know what? I think I have that. Actually,
I'm looking at my brush pens right now. I don't know.
I might actually have it. Yeah, mine is back here somewhere. Yeah. I'm afraid to get up. If I get up, I'm going to pull the ear out of my head. So
it's okay. But
I only use Pentel mini brush. So
the Pentel mini brush.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you basically use now? Or
that's it. Especially when I'm at a convention, because carrying around, trying to.
Oh no!
And everybody's talking to you.
No.
The brush is dry and it's ruined. So.
Right. No. I don't bring ink with me anymore. I don't do that. The brush pens are good. Absolutely. Saves you a lot of craziness.
Let me get it.
All mine are put away right now in my bag in the other room, because I always carry my supplies to my day job and whatever. But all my pens are in the other side.
Yeah, I got my stuff right back there, but it's out of my reach.
Yeah, same here. I thought I had stuff here. I just kind of got these. I don't mind sometimes. The Mangaka flexible.
Oh yeah, sure.
These are pretty good.
I've used that.
Yeah.
I've used a lot of different. Oh, what do you got? You got yours. Yeah. Yeah.
Pentel.
The Pentel. Right.
Another Pentel.
Like this one here.
That. Yeah. Yeah. I
This
forgot
Pentel.
how to refill that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I refill that all. Yeah, I've used that too. Sure. Of course. It's like right now, I'm doing like coloring with markers, with the Copic markers. So I had to try and find an ink that wouldn't destroy the pen, like the pen ink. So I got like the Zig Toon ink that I think it's Zig. Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen. I think I'm just gonna zoom in on you. Yeah, I think I have that. I've never used it, but I used to belong to Art Snacks. For those who don't know what that is, it was a monthly subscription box, and they just send you random art supplies so you can experiment and play. And I think they sent me that ink, and I've just never opened it. I haven't. It's like 2 years old, sitting in one of my drawers here. But I got it because, like I said, I use brush pens. So
no, it's really good, and it resists the markers, the alcohol markers. So
it's waterproof, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was horrible.
But
I'm sorry.
That messing up the brush?
What's that?
Aren't you afraid of that messing up the brush? Because
well, I clean off my brushes afterwards. I can't work. I used to worry about it a lot, but if I really want to clean my brush, I just go and use soap and water, and I just get it to a point again, and it usually works all right. I worked with really bad brushes too. I mean, but brushes are expensive.
Yes.
So I try to get as much life as I can out of the brush that I got.
No, I know. I used when I was trying the brush. I went out. I bought that Winsor Newton. Everybody says use Winsor Newton Series 7.
Series 7. Yeah.
You're spending $35-$40 on a brush, but I'm like, I can get a fake sable hair brush a synthetic sable hair for
Yeah.
like $5.
There you go.
And it does the exact same thing for me. It just
Basically-
doesn't last as long.
Yeah,
Well,
right. That's,
I have to say that, you see, if it boils down to the economy brush and the Winston Newton, I
Yeah.
use the economy brushes and they lasted like maybe 2 months.
yeah, okay.
And I get a Winston Newton, it lasts me almost a year. So
Yeah.
if you put how much money you spend, you know, every month or every 2 months on a cheap pen, it'll add up over the Newton.
There you go. Okay, there you go. You made a point there.
Yeah. That is true. You're paying for the quality.
That's it. Exactly. You're paying for the quality.
I
But
mean,
I still like those brush pens now.
yeah,
I love them now.
they're fantastic because I can carry them in my pocket and on the go.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. You can use them anywhere, no problem.
Yeah.
Just carry an extra cartridge and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have my phone right now. So okay, I thought I had a comment, but I don't. So someone texted me a comment. So anyway, I usually do about an hour. We've hit an hour mark. I have no problem going a little over. I'm having a great time.
I could just show you one of the recreations I did. You know, like this is some of the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
So this is Metamorphose. So I did, you know, like I repenciled, inked, colored, lettered, and did all that.
Now, are your colors digital, or is this what you're talking about? You do with the Copics?
This with the Copics. This is not the original piece, but yeah, I used Copics on this. So I'm just learning basically how to work with them. As a matter of fact, still, you know, like trying to mix the colors.
Yeah, that's beautiful though.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's a fantastic scan too. I mean,
Thanks.
With that, I actually have a friend. He's an indie artist as well. He's a teacher, but he's an amazing painter. And he says if you know how to paint, like if you can paint well, you can use the Copics almost as paintbrushes.
Yes.
And use them to mix like you would kind of mix paint on canvas. And the way he starts with his layers, and I'm colorblind. It's really more shape blind, so I have trouble with that stuff. But I think it's great. I think that I watched him work, and it's amazing. And that's beautiful there. I love all this. And you're telling me your pencils are bad? I mean, this is beautiful, man.
You
know, it's like you know what happened when not too much work has been coming in, you know, like in comic books as an inker.
Yeah.
You know, like I finally decided that I had to get back into trying to do my penciling again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when, you know, like I started to, you know, like slowly get myself back into a rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, for doing pencils and inks, and I'm basically scared of inking my own stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting better.
I will say I kind of feel the same way. I feel my pencils are always nice.
There you go.
I bring my inks. I'm like, I'm going to screw it up. Beautiful, Adam Moore. That's great. And these are a type of commissions and stuff you're doing right now?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, I'll show you something that I just finished. I'm doing remarks on comic book covers.
Okay.
But this is something that is with acrylic ink, acrylic paint.
Oh, I gotta take my glasses off to get in closer. Nice. That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just slowly starting to learn how to do this now. And I'm hoping that it really does, you know, like when I'm really finished with it, that's going to turn out okay. But that's,
Joe Ryan says, that's awesome, Keith. I mean, your work is fantastic. I love
thank you, guys.
And I know one day I'm going to have to get a commission from you when I have the cash. And I will tell you right now, it's going to be a Phantom, so it's just one day.
Well, I'm his agent now, so I get 20%.
There you go. Hey,
Okay.
you got Alex over there that's working with Mark, actually. Mark Texera. So, you know,
Yes.
like, I mean,
Yeah. So
yeah,
if
man.
Alex,
I've seen some of your stuff looks good over him. Very nice. Nice
Oh,
job,
yeah.
Alex.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
job.
I was doing
Yes.
background for him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't get any credit for it, but I did the background for
Oh, okay.
Jonah Hex. What was that? Jonah Hex, Yosemite Sam for DC.
Oh, that's great.
The Deathstroke
Okay.
with Foghorn Leghorn for DC.
That's
And
fantastic, though.
we did another book, a Die Hard book. For now, hold on a second while I get the name, but I got it over here.
Okay.
That's so great.
I love his stuff. I'll do doodles at shows, and I'll just hand it to him to paint.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
What else I
Yeah,
got
with
here?
a million ways to
Oh,
die.
Oh, that's great.
Let me give you the screen here.
Yeah, please.
Nice. Hold
Bring it
up.
up. There you
Nice.
go. Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
It
with
is
for
great.
Inside Comics.
Wow.
And,
Holy cow. This book is out right now?
yeah, well, it came out 2 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
Who was the publisher?
Insight Comics.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm gonna go look for it. I can't believe this. And look at that. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
That is
name.
awesome.
they
Yes.
gave me recognition because I helped them get it out on time.
Good for you, man.
That is awesome.
Good on you. Absolutely.
Now, is that a story that is like based on the movie? Is it like a retelling or?
No, it's based on the movies. You know, the thing
Yeah.
was they had permission to use the characters and the name, but they didn't have the permission to use Bruce Willis's face.
Okay.
Oh,
It had to be John McClane without looking like John McClane, actually.
Interesting.
He-
That must have been a little tough.
This is possible.
Well, at least he was able to create his own face, I guess. You know, like, so this way he didn't have to go and keep referencing Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but he had to get it close.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that was
Well, it needs to be.
we did 60 something pages in a month.
Wow.
Pencil and ink.
In a month. Are you
Did
kidding?
you guys sleep at all? Eat? Did you guys?
Oh my God.
Well, he lived with me that month.
Yeah.
You do a 22-page book in a month is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would get up in the morning, have breakfast, then work all the way through, and go to eat dinner at about maybe 8 o'clock. And then come back, do some more work, and then fall out, wake up early in the morning, and start all over again.
Oh my God.
Holy cow. I can't even imagine. Gee, my hat's off to you. Seriously. I mean,
I do that again.
I couldn't imagine like doing anything with that schedule.
no.
Well, I was fortunate. When he came to me, he already had done all the pencils.
Okay.
He was working on it, I think, for 2 months.
He
2
was
months?
working on it for 2 months?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. But you had to finish it in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would do the background and certain all the blacks and everything, and he'd come and just finesse the figures and ink them.
Uh-huh.
It was a good partnership.
Yeah, I could imagine.
It's great because you got it done.
Yeah. That's the important.
And it looks good. So, even better. Fantastic. It's crazy, but fantastic.
But you know that when you work 6 days, I mean, years ago, what was that? you had
Whoa, I'm losing you.
on the book.
Yeah, you're a little choppy. Can you repeat that? Get a little closer to the mic.
Okay. Years back, they used to be like you would take 3 months to get a book finished. Correct?
Mhm.
Am I correct on that? Because remember, they used
Yes,
to have the
yes,
dates,
3 months. Yes,
and now
that's
these
right.
days you got less than a month.
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No. I know. That they think it's magic, but
Yeah.
it's really got to really work hard to get those books done and to make them look nice.
Exactly.
You know. And I just love just doing this. I just love working on comic books. This is what I always wanted to do. You know, and just like you, Alex. You know, right? You know, I mean, hey, that's what you want to do, man.
I know.
So
I started late in the game. I mean, when you met me, I was just starting. I had just finished my first inking job, and I was
that's
picking
right.
up to my second.
That's right. Yes, that's when I first. Yeah, it was at the comic art
Comic Artists Guild.
artist guild. Yes, comic artist guild. That's where we met.
I was
Yes.
telling Mike about that earlier. That you were sitting next to me. I didn't know who you were because, like I said, I was out of comic books for almost 20 something years. And we're sitting there, and Mark Matt introduces us. And he said, "Yeah, this is Keith Williams." I go, "Okay." You know, I figured all these guys were just like me, just starting. Little did I know.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just starting.
No,
But no, you guys were incredible. You know, like in there. I had a really nice time hanging with you guys.
no, you are incredible because you didn't act like any other comic book person that I had met before that time. You were like just one of the guys, you know. You were showing your stuff. I showed you mine. You going, "Oh, my stuff is so." And I'm going, "You kidding? This stuff looks great." I came home. I picked up this book that I had. I was looking for something to read. It was Indiana Jones by John Burns. And then I saw a background done by Keith Williams. And this was the look on my face.
Hey, it was always great hanging out with you guys, and you know, like I really miss you guys at conventions. I miss all of you. It's I mean, I just really got into going to conventions, you know, like and now it's all shut down. I don't know what it's a shame, you know. It's really a shame.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be back soon.
I'm hoping so.
And I think hopefully next summer we'll start seeing shows.
I think so.
Then, because
What?
I think before then. I think
You do?
probably in February or so when when the vaccine comes out and things started to open
See,
up.
I don't know. I personally think, you know, we're going to have another quarantine probably by November at the latest. I think we're going to be in for a few months. Probably not as long as we were this time, but I think when the cold weather starts up again, we're going to be quarantined. I think people are going to still feel a little nervous going out, you know, to spend money, and you know, a lot of people still aren't working, so they don't have that disposable income to go to a show and drop money. And I think that's we're going to have to wait until we're really opened up a lot more. I mean, I read somewhere a few weeks ago that we're going to be wearing masks possibly for a couple of years.
That's a
You know?
possibility.
Yeah.
The mask I don't mind because you would take one look at me, you're gonna tell me put a mask on anyway. So
Well, you know, I actually have believe it or not, I have a show
Really?
possibly at the end of August.
Really?
Maybe.
Would you like to promote it?
It's in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And it's God. I'm trying to remember the name of the thing. Hang on, wait a minute. Let's see if I can find it. Because it's on my page, I guess.
Okay.
On Facebook. And oh yeah, wait, no. I think I put it on there. I did. It's down there somewhere. But I'm hoping we'll see how it works out, because everything I'm hearing from baseball games and everything else, it's like everything's like really up in the air right now. But it is in New Hampshire, and I can't find it. Oh gosh.
No, and there have been conventions in other states.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's not as bad, in the New England area than it is, further down south. So there's possibility. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I can't find it. Yikes! Oh, there it is. Nope. Yes, that's it. Wait a minute. Hang on. Yeah, there it goes. It's the Little Giant Comics Old School Comics Show.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's supposed to be August 22nd at the Everett Arena. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like everything is certain until it's not.
Yeah.
I know.
If it canceled, I mean,
Yeah.
There was one in Long Island that was supposed to be coming up, and they canceled it.
You're talking the Greg show, right? The Long Island Comic Show.
Yeah. The tropical one. I think.
Oh boy, I had a ton of things to do in August, but they all canceled out.
Yeah, they all.
It's the way it is. So it's all right.
It's okay. I'm going to wrap up in a few moments, but before I go, I have a question for you, Keith. Have you ever thought about doing your own creator-owned comic? And if so, do you have an idea for it?
I do.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to share. I'm just curious if you have.
I do, and it's been something that I've been working on since I was at School of Visual Arts.
Okay.
But it's just it's really funny. For a little while there, I wasn't busy, so I was really able to start to work on it. But now I started getting all these commissions again, so it kind of like it stopped me again. I have like maybe 2 issues that I've actually written. but I don't know. I might just leave it for my son. Maybe he'll he's not an artist, but maybe he'll give it to somebody to go and do it. One day. I don't know. But there's still hope. I might be able to have a little bit of time to do it. Who knows?
Yeah.
You do the pencils, I'll do the ink.
Okay.
I volunteer.
You got it, man. I'm fine with that. Hopefully, maybe maybe next year, maybe I can actually start to do it. We'll see. But I don't want to say anything else because I probably jinx. But nothing happened yet anyway. But we'll see.
All right. Well, if you guys, I'm gonna do a little wrap up. If you guys can hang out backstage for a minute, I'd appreciate that.
All right.
I want to say thank you both for joining me tonight. I've had a lot of fun chatting with you guys.
Had a good time.
And Joe Ryan says, "Great show, guys." And I think tonight really was a great show. It was just fun talking with you both. And I know I've said this before on air to a lot of artists that I speak with. I work with travel a 12-hour day, and I come home exhausted. But I look forward to these because I get to talk with people in the industry. I get to be inspired, and I sometimes I feel like I want to stop interviewing just so I can go and draw. And tonight was one of those nights. It's just listening to your stories, knowing the work that you produce. It's just makes me wanna go create. And unfortunately, it's getting close to the time where I'm going to have to go to sleep because I do have to get up for work the next.
Oh, good grief!
But it is something that like now it's in the back of my head that yes, I can work on stuff. I know I need to. I know I'm motivated more now than I was in year ago before we even started, you know. So
Same here.
I want to thank you. That's great. I'm happy to hear. I want to thank you both. Hang out backstage. I just want to do a little closing up. And Joe Ryan says, I started working on sketch cards now. That's fantastic. I've done a few. I love sketch cards. Not usually the pay, but I do enjoy sketch cards.
They're cool. I love them.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay, take care.
All right, guys. So thank you for joining us. I'm keeping Keith Williams' stuff down there for now. You know, check out his Instagram. Check out his Facebook. Again, fantastic artist. He's taking commissions. Message him. You all need to do that. Stay tuned on Thursday when Mike Lopez will be coming by with his guest. And as usual, thank you for watching me. You can follow me on GetInToon.net on Facebook, at Michael Grassi on YouTube and Instagram. And you can always go to my website, GetInToon.net, if you want to see my traveling workshops and stuff. And if you want to give me money, please head over to my Patreon. I accept all forms of cash. All right? So thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you guys next week. All right? Have a great week. Bye.